Well, good morning, BCN. My name is Robbie Brown. I am the Bridge Cafe manager up at the Bridge Cafe at Wright State. I'm sitting here in the church foyer right now, the Bridge Cafe that's on campus, and just give you all a couple of minutes to join in here. So what I would like to do this morning is continue our Word of the Day series, where we speak about some word that means something to us each day as we lead up to Christmas. And the word that I would like to talk to you about is the word Advent. So Advent is this word that maybe we don't use every day, especially in our time. But this word Advent means coming or arrival. So the arrival of someone. So in the Christmas season, Advent is particularly the time that we celebrate or commemorate the time that Jesus stepped into our world, into our scene, to rescue us, to redeem us, to show us a path forward. So Advent means to arrive, and for the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas, the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas, this is the Advent season on the church calendar. One of my favorite Christmas hymns that we sing during this Advent season, and actually we sang it here yesterday at BCN, is the hymn, O Come, Emmanuel. The first stanza of this song says this: O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, who mourns in lonely exile here until the Son of God appears. So to fully appreciate the meaning, the significance of the arrival of Christ on the scene, we can look back to the nation of Israel and remember that nation of Israel is that little nation that God had powerfully revealed himself to, and had chosen them to reveal himself to the world around him. But for the 400 years leading up to the birth of Jesus, there was this spiritual silence, this spiritual darkness, kind of this spiritual exile of sorts, where the people hadn't heard from God. And there was this longing, this sense of expectation for God to step in and to do something big in their life. Specifically, what they were seeing, expecting God to do, was for God to step in and restore their independence, to free them from Roman rule. But God had something else in mind. So while they were essentially living as exiles in their own land, they were longing for God to arrive on the scene. But the way that they were longing for God to intercede was a little bit different than the way that God actually interceded. So instead of God sending this military conqueror, this king who would restore their kingdom, he chose to bring his kingdom to earth, and we get to celebrate that in the person of Jesus, and how he stepped down to be God with us, and how he poured out his life as a life of love and a life of compassion to show us the way. So God arrived in an unexpected way. He would send his very own son to earth, and he would choose to show us the path forward. So here's the question that I'm wondering: when are we like Israel, right? Where we have this spiritual darkness, this spiritual exile of sorts, where we're expecting God to show up in a particular way, and God chooses to reveal himself in a completely different way. When we may be in a period of that spiritual darkness, and God shows up with his light in a way in which we would have never conjured up on our own, in a way that we couldn't possibly expect. So my thought today for us to ponder is, let's not limit God to our expectation. So Advent is this season of expectation and a season of longing, but let's be filled in wonder in the ways that God may reveal himself to us. I want to leave you today with this scripture from Isaiah chapter 9. And it says, the people who walk in darkness who will see a great light. For those who live in a land of deep darkness, a light will shine. Jesus is that light, and I pray that you will be filled with wonder during this Advent season as we look or allow the light of Christ to shine richly in our lives, to extinguish those dark places, those spiritual exile portions of our life, and fill us with wonder and longing and expectation for what his very presence will do in our life. So thanks for joining us this morning for the Word of the Day. Join back tomorrow, 9 o'clock, same time, and Deb Bricky will be sharing with us on the word faithful. BCN, have a great day, and if I don't talk to you before Christmas, Merry Christmas.